roll off.
Roll off. Oh, that's another one.
You need to give me this dice. I've rolled a 6. I think I've rolled a 5 and a 6 on this dice.
I've rolled a
like
1
this.
twice.
So I have won the roll off for a second straight time, and like in pretty much every game of Spearhead, I'm going to be the attacker. And I'm going to make you research random things on the internet for the outro, apparently.
Yeah, why not?
It's your go-to move. So welcome to episode 4, All Out AOS Presents Tip of the Spear, our Spearhead-focused podcast. In today's episode, we are going to discuss which faction has the best top 3 spearheads.
In our opinion.
In our opinion, which is obviously fact.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Games Workshop told me. They took me aside and went, Robin, you're the best player. It is just bad dice. Everyone else is worse than you, and your opinions matter the most.
You had some wild dreams last night. How has your Warhammer week been?
Well, mostly just painting and getting ready for a tournament we've got this month. So pretty bad, because I don't like painting. Heavy infantry Stormcast list for a change, with no magic and no prayer, so we're going to see how that goes.
As someone who plays Fire Slayers, if they've got a very heavy magic army, you're probably having a rough game.
I mean, I've got a few of the Rumination Chamber that can just say no.
Oh, that's good.
So
maybe you won't have a rough game then, you'll be fine.
We'll see. And obviously I hope for some places of power.
So I've also been preparing for that, less so on painting, more so trying to actually figure out which army I'm going to take, which I think I'm leaning towards Nurgle, but I know what you're taking, and I know what our friend Luke's taking, and I don't know if I'll do well against either of the armies, so we'll see.
I mean, I've got no healing in the list either. I've not got a lot of stuff in the list. I've got a lot of hammers.
I've got a feeling he's doing like a Gitz Trogoth list, so
Yeah.
all the healing.
All the healing.
Unfortunately for me, I think that will be a bad game if I end up playing
Just
him.
a bunch of healing hammers.
So, nothing Spearhead related, basically.
Nothing Spearhead. It's great for the podcast.
I mean, we are gearing up for Quest in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah.
So I've been slowly getting your sons ready to take.
And I'm technically getting my Deepkin that have been like sat in a box since the joint launch between the Deepkin and Fire Slayers, finally painting them up.
Or, in Robin's words of finally painting them up, getting other people to paint
Yeah,
up.
well, people like painting for some reason.
So, which faction has the best top 3 spearheads?
Well, I suppose we should probably say which 3 we have picked for all the factions or Grand Alliances.
So have got quite a lot of experience with a lot of spearheads. There's maybe just a handful that we have either never played with or never even played against, but not many. So hopefully this is a fairly rounded collection that we've chosen from. So beginning with Order, the good guys, some people's opinion, I guess. We have gone for...
I played it a million times. Is it called like the Thunder Host?
No, it's called Yanastra Spearhead. It's literally called Yanastra Spearhead.
Is it?
Yeah, Spearhead is in the title of the one.
Yep. I mean, yep.
I've had to type it too many times.
Very imaginative.
It's
yes.
very imaginative.
So, Yanastra's Spearhead, surprisingly, has Yanastra in it.
Yep. So we've chosen Stormcast of Yanastra's Spearhead. We have also picked Karajan Overlords with the Skyhammers Task Force. And we are struggling for our third option.
Yes, we have currently got for third place the Seraphon Star Scale War Host, so the old one, not the new one with the big Carnosaur.
The Sylvaneth Bitterbark Corpse, say that fast 3 times really quick. And the Ideneth Deepkin Achillean Tide Guard. Games Workshop make things really easy for people with dyslexia to say, don't they?
Yes, definitely. So I think we actually came to the decision that we haven't got a massive amount of experience with the new Deepkin one, but we think it might be just slightly worse than the other 2, the Seraphon and the Sylvaneth.
I think maybe it is a swingier one than the other 2. I feel like the Seraphon is a really solid one. You can play well with little experience to a lot of experience. And you can literally just eat whole models of 5 health, which I learned in my last game.
If it pops off, it can do crazy stuff.
I think your weakness is nothing comes back.
Yep.
However, on Sand and Bone, you could literally bring the Carnosaur back with the card. So I think that is a pretty strong one on that side of the board. For the Sylvaneth, I personally think that is the more competitive one. However, I think you need to be a good player, know what you're doing, and hope your opponent is not experienced, so
see, that's
allows you to do what you want to do.
That's why I think that's my thing about them beating the Seraphon is the fact of I think a good competitive player knows how to shut Sylvaneth down better.
If their army can.
Yeah, obviously, but it's harder to shut Seraphon down as a whole because they have no glaring weaknesses. They kind of do, but nothing that exploitable. That's what I'm saying.
Their glaring weaknesses, you wipe out a unit of Saurus warriors, they've only got 3 units on the board.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I think they are a better whole unit.
Yeah, I think Sylvaneth have got a higher potential for success and a lower. They've got a much wider kind of success, where Seraphon has probably a little bit less than them, but also it's harder to have a worse game with them. So I think we're going with joint third position.
We've got to pick one.
Roll off.
Roll off, Robin.
So I'll be Seraphon.
Okay, and I will be Sylvaneth.
If I roll a 1.
I have rolled a 6.
Well, I rolled a 2.
You need to change that dice.
I'm sorry, all you dinosaur lovers out there. I also did watch Jurassic Park this weekend, so maybe that's influencing.
Your inability to roll good dice is affecting your score of your team. But yeah, so we're going to go for Stormcast, Overlords, and Sylvaneth for representing Team Order. So for our Team Chaos, we have the Skaven Warp Spark Claw Pack and
the Skaven Norfest Claw Pack.
So they both have Claw Pack.
Yes, I think that's what confuses a lot of people. So basically, we've gone with both the Skaven, just because both of them are really solid spearheads.
And the final one representing that is the Maggotkin of Nurgle Bleak Host, which is my personal favourite spearhead.
Yeah.
So that had to be in there.
I think this one was a little bit more cut and dry than the Order one, mostly because Order just has so many.
I mean, Chaos has got a lot, but I think some of them are good. So kind of notable ones that we thought about adding in with Slaves to Darkness.
Yep.
We debated.
And the Blades of Khorne are also quite good. Again, kind of hard hitting, decent saves, maybe let down a little bit by don't really have a lot of versatility. They kind of just want to go in and smash, which is quite exploitable sometimes. If you've got something that can withstand that, it's hard for them to do much else. So not a huge amount of versatility. That's probably what Chaos struggles with, which is quite important. Apart from Skaven, they've got really good versatility, both in various ways. If you know what you're doing, got really good versatility. And Nurgle are just really hard to shift. Which is important for Spearhead sometimes.
And in a daft way, the unit coming in late gives them the versatility because then they can be places. So those are our 3 Chaos. For Death, a little bit like we did there, we've gone for both of the Nighthaunt armies.
Yeah, well, we went for the Nighthaunt Slasher Host, which is the older one. The one where you get loads and loads of models.
And the Cursed Shackle Horde, where you get loads and loads of units. 7 units.
Yeah, you get a lot. Some of them are only like 2 models.
That is the most out of all spearheads.
Yeah.
There you go.
They get a lot.
So we have chosen both of those Nighthaunt spearheads.
Yep.
So the last member of Team Death is the Soulblight Gravelords Bloodcrave Hunt, which I think is an extremely good spearhead. It took me a few games to get, I think, what you need to get with it.
Yeah, it's a bit of an odd one.
Plays, but I think it is a top one. So that is in there. We've not got a single representative from our own 2 death armies that we collect in the full game of Bone Reapers and Flesh Eaters. I personally don't think either Bone Reaper one is brilliant.
I think the new one, again, has the potential to be really good, but also just if you lose those big things early on for an unlucky roll, you've lost.
And the start's really hard because you only have, I think, 3 units on the board. That's always going to be a horrible first turn.
There's just no consistency to that army, unfortunately.
And the reason we've not got Flesh Eaters is...
because apparently I roll a lot of ones in charges with them. No,
you moan constantly about the original one being bad.
The original one it's okay against certain types of spearheads. Ones where the heroes can easily kill stuff. In ones where the heroes can't easily kill stuff, it's bad. Which, unfortunately, is a lot of the spearheads. They need to get the deeds. If they can't get the deeds, they're going to lose. Because there's no... You punch your units, your crypt guard, just because they get to roll a lot of dice. But they're also so squishy that you can easily just lose 6 straight away, and all of a sudden you've lost all those dice. And the newer one...
You rate a bit more
I do
highly?
think it's definitely better than the original, quite a bit. But again, your whole army's hitting on 4s and 3s. You're not the most defensive army in the world. So once you start losing a couple, only the horrors come back. The teleporting unit on the edge is probably the best thing in the army, and it's really, really good. But again, if that kind of gets locked up in combat, it rolls a lot of dice. But again, it's not brilliant. It maybe needs another unit to push it into the top tier.
Yeah.
It just feels like it's just missing something.
And there is the Soul Blight Death Rattle Tomb Host, which is their new one, which I have played once.
Yeah, it does look good.
Yeah, I think it is quite good. They bring like a whole night every turn, end of every turn, which I think is really hard to be able to play against because you've got to wipe that unit. Otherwise, 2 turns later, they're full up again. But I think maybe just we've not got as much experience, so we've gone for ones that we know a bit more about. And finally, Team Destruction. Probably unsurprisingly to people who have played a bit of competitive Spearhead, we have the Gloomspite Gits.
Oh, did we pick them? Literally, probably the
So
best
the tournament
Spearhead.
that I did a few weeks ago, the top 3 people, 2 of them were Gloomspite Gits.
Gits probably is just the best Spearhead. It has all the parts do their roles really well.
And just to confirm, we are not talking about the Snarlpack Hunt.
Oh, what you mean the ones that do basically nothing in combat and are just mobile? And
yeah, those ones. We are talking about
the Gloomspite Gits Bad Moon Mad Mob.
Mad Mob.
Try saying that 3 times fast.
Yeah, okay, that beats the other one.
That'll be the outro. I'm going to say it 3 times fast. We're all going to sit here
until you've said it correctly 3 times fast.
We're all going to sit here and listen until I've done that.
We've also got the Cruel Boys. There is only one for those, obviously representing the Uruk war clans, Swamp Skulker Gang, as well as
the Sons of Behemoth, the Wall Smasher Stomp. Yeah, not a lot of competition in Destruction.
No, I mean, obviously, same as Death, there's only 4 armies compared to Order and Chaos. There's a lot less to choose from. I think your top 2 are very clear. You could put Ogre Moor tribes in there. Iron Jaws have potential, but I've never yet seen it.
Yeah.
So I think that was a best of a middling lot.
I mean, the thing with the Giants are kind of have hard counters and stuff that they do really well against.
And they can just roll well.
They just roll well. They'll do well.
Anything. Yeah.
Especially if that army has bad saves. Because, they have quite a bit of rend, which isn't really a big thing in Spearhead. So, coming in 4th place, in our opinion, out of the 4 Grand Alliances. So, this isn't necessarily to say that these 3 are definitely the worst 3. This is just saying overall kind of where we're placing the army. Because we've kind of gone for what represents the army as a whole as well. We're going with Death.
I mean, I think Soul Blight is a top army. I think Nighthaunt is a fairly top army. However, I do think compared to all the rest, they would struggle. And the reason that we're kind of saying that is because Death's whole thing is
stuff comes back
and heals, and Spearhead's whole thing is
stuff comes back and heals.
So I do think a lot of their strengths are negated because of that.
Yeah. Or they double dip and it kind of becomes a little irrelevant. Great, I'm healing, but I'm not doing anything else.
And sometimes you don't want the unit to heal because you want it to die and get the whole unit back.
Yeah.
Which is a really silly one. So with my Soul Blight, I had a game where I had 3 skeletons left. And I was like, do I want to roll the regeneration ability? Because actually I want to retreat out of this combat, hope all 3 of them die, and then bring back a whole unit. And they aren't reinforced, so it's 4 plus D6. So I'm not always getting the whole unit, but I'm getting better than the 3.
Yeah.
So I think it is an odd one where Spearhead still good, still really strong armies. If I would happily choose either any of those 3 armies to play a competition with.
But what I think what you're trying to say is, in a high level competition, a good player knows to leave a reinforced unit alive with one guy, because that one guy's not going to do anything. If I kill that one guy, I've got 10 guys to fight now, and that could be a problem.
And they're being put somewhere else on the board
Yes.
that helps them more than the part of the board that they're possibly in.
Which, unfortunately, death. Some armies, it's really easy to do that. And death, it's hard to do because stuff tends to come a little bit back at a time. Which, again, if you've got 2 or 3, having 4 or 5 doesn't actually make a great deal of difference because the roll tend to be pretty bad in combat as well.
And then if we were thinking of this as you had these 3 armies, you are against another person with 3 armies, and there was some sort of counterplay to choose your army that's going to play the other one, none of these armies shoot.
Yep.
So you've not got any kind of, good, I'm Skaven, I'll pick this army to shoot against this one that I know is slow and is not going to do anything back to me because they've got no shooting. They could really target any of the 3 death armies.
They've all kind of got one card to play, which, don't get me wrong, they play that card really, really well. What they do really well, but they don't have a lot of other options.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what's putting them towards the end. Really good players know that, and they know how to act in accordance to kind of mitigate that.
Yeah.
Which, unfortunately, while they'll probably not do brilliant towards the top, I'm not saying a good player can't do well with them.
Nope.
Again, some armies can't handle them just because it's simply they can be overwhelming, and if they just roll a little bit better, they'll do really well.
Yeah, but that is Death's Death.
Yeah.
4th place. We are putting in our 3rd place
Order. Again, our biggest one, and I think there's probably Order probably has more good spearheads than the rest.
Which we found when we were trying to narrow it down to the 3.
But on the flip side, they probably also have more bad spearheads than some armies even have spearheads.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
So you kind of look at Order and go, oh, look at all these good ones. You go, yeah, but look at all the bad ones as well.
I mean, if we're looking at it, the top 3 representation, I feel like because there's no clear 3rd one, that hampers them. If you were entering that and you had to use all 3, you'd be like, yes, my Stormcast one, yes, my Overlords one. What's coming next?
Yeah,
with the next choice.
And obviously, so talking about the top 3, they all kind of have sort of a weird glaring issue. They're all slightly different. You've got your Astra one, tend to have a bad start. So if you can overwhelm and score really high at the start, great, your Astra comes in at the end, does a load of damage, but you struggle to get those points up. Overlords, yeah, great shooting and everything, but if you can kind of lock everything up in combat, they lose a lot of the damage potential. Again, a good player should be able to avoid that, but then again, a good player is going to want to go for that.
But also, they're a hard one because you need to obviously be on objectives to control and get points. But to do that, you'll end up getting yourself in combat. So as much as you want to sit back and shoot, you just can't in Spearhead.
I say it's whoever has the most points left at the end, not who has the most models. The amount of times we've won a game and you can look at it and go, I've got no models left, but I've got 7 points more than my opponent who's got his whole lot, because they've just spent the whole game trying to kill you.
Yeah.
Which maybe if there was a few more rounds, it might matter.
If it was a 5-round, 6-round, I'd be lost because I wouldn't be scoring any points from the 4th afterwards. But it doesn't matter. 74. And Sylvaneth again, you can block out.
It's not always easy to do, but a good player can kind of exploit their abilities to teleport and heal and things like that. If you can try and avoid the terrain features, it kind of hampers them a little bit. But again, it's hard to do. And a good player will, at the very least, have the terrain well placed in their side.
And someone did point out, obviously, the new Sand and Bone, one of them has a terrain feature in the middle. So they're always having the ability to teleport using that.
Yeah. And there's 2 objectives sat there.
Yeah.
So you can, very hard to block out, especially with some armies that don't have a lot of stuff. So we've kind of gone with the weird negatives there of why we picked these. But they are really good. Astra is a fairly consistent one. It's got good saves, okay damage, nothing crazy until she comes in. Again, stuff coming in can be a benefit. It's not always a negative as long as you've got enough stuff to kind of hold it off at the start. Carriage and Overlords, the potential for their damage is the shooting is really good.
And not just the potential for their damage. I feel like they're a good army just because of how the change happened and so much of it comes back. You can throw things out there to die, come back. The boat is so good at just sitting on an objective, not dying. They'll lock it up, but they're still helping you to control something.
You can really easily put it on the edge of an objective, like closer to the opponent on the edge of an objective, and they're not going to get on that objective. And even if they get an odd model on, it's 5 control score. They need a full unit on there.
Yeah.
And yes, it isn't the best in combat, but it might kill a few. And it's unlikely to lose unless it's a prolonged one. And if they're throwing everything into the balloon,
they're not affecting the rest of your army that's going on. And your general for that is so good.
Yeah.
That is, I would rate that as in the top few. And that will be, I'm sure, a podcast or a video soon. But as standalone, they're very good. But as a combined 3, I think that does just go to that 3rd place.
Yeah. Maybe if Seraphon were included, it might go. Might be in 2nd place, but
Now, we probably disagree.
Yeah.
On who is coming 1st or 2nd.
Yeah, probably.
Not just because it means it's an interesting video for our upcoming series for which faction has the best top 3 spearheads. Would you like to go first, Robin?
No, because that implies that I'm 2nd, so you can go first.
So,
mind games. It's all about mind games.
In my opinion, if I was to look at all of these armies and go, I had to enter a competition against Robin, and I had 1 game using each, I would be playing with Team Destruction of Gits, Cruel Boys, and Sons. I feel like Gits is probably the standalone best spearhead.
It's comfortably top 3. You can make cases for other ones being better.
Yeah.
Gits is probably the best by a little bit.
Yeah.
Heads and tails above.
I think if you take Gits, you have a chance to beat every army.
Yeah.
It's not like some others that if I take it, I'll be competitive. I've got a good chance of beating most armies. Cruel Boys, I think it's a very good spearhead. I have the most fun playing that spearhead probably out of any spearhead, just because you have a bit of everything.
Yeah.
I think your shooting is very strong.
Yeah.
Your units, I know they don't come back and the saves aren't great, but as long as they're getting a bit of mortals and doing a bit of damage first, can do very well. Your hero's a very good hero.
Yep.
As a collective whole, I think that is a top army.
You've got like a flag guy for your sneaky. You can put him on an objective and take it without having to fight for it, which is a very valuable thing sometimes to have.
And Sons, because Sons.
Sons are a bit of a weird one, aren't they? I know I've played them a little bit more than you've played them. Yeah, sometimes it's kind of a 50-50 with Sons sometimes. Sometimes you'll roll really well and you'll steamroll through your opponent and you'll win because they've got really good control score, great potential for a lot of damage, loads of health, and other than the general, they come back. So if you can kind of plan it well, get 5 giants coming with the 2 that come back. You can potentially have them 3 away, so they're not going to fail a charge. It's not a, and they have got a bit of versatility with their enhancements and things like that.
I think I'm going for I hope Gits win. Cruel Boys have a good solid game and even get it over the line or don't. And if they don't, I hope Sons just crashes in and does something. So if I was to pick a 3, those would be my choice. But instead, you've not chosen those.
I have not, because I've picked Chaos. And the reason I picked Chaos is because I really like Skaven. No, I picked Chaos mostly because of Skaven. And I haven't actually played Nurgle, but I have played against it a lot with a lot of different armies, and I always sort of struggle against it because Nurgle's it's a weird one. They probably have in the Blind Kings just the best defensive unit in Spearhead, which for a game that's about controlling objectives is very good. And they're just so hard to shift. I know you can have a bad roll, and there's some armies that have sneaky ways of getting around it. Like the Giants can just swallow one of them. There's other armies that have similar abilities. The Carnosaur
can just eat one.
Yeah, but other than that, just a straight up fight. The Blight Kings are probably just gonna, if you literally just pit them against any other infantry and you kind of roll averagely, I think the Blight Kings will always win out.
Yep. I would agree. As someone who's used them a lot more than any other spearhead, I think I've had the odd game where they've just died, and I've been like, oh, now I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
But as a whole, they are such a strong unit. The fly is a really good unit.
Yeah.
Because it's just one fly with 8 health. The amount of times people will get 4 or 5 of its down, and I'll use my D3 healing, and it's back up to 7. Plague Bearers of Crit Mortals, so you could always just pop off with those you don't know. And then when you bring the units down late in, the fact that they're anywhere on the board 6 away means that they are almost always scoring you a card, getting an objective at the back that you've just never been able to get access.
Like you said, they cover kind of the one weakness of the spearhead, that it's a slow spearhead.
Yeah.
The fact that they come down 6 away mitigates that a little bit. Obviously, you can kind of zone them out with, but if you're using stuff to zone them out,
they're not doing.
They're not killing the Blight Kings. The Blight Kings are a really awkward one. You've either got to basically decide: do I completely ignore them all game, put everything into everything else, and just hope I kill everything, or do I focus everything down on them, and then even then maybe not kill them because they are just really defensive. If you've not got a particularly good Rend army, because a 3+ say with a 5 up ward just on a standard one, and can you buff it as well? What's the desecrating objective?
Oh, you can buff the ward for desecrating the objectives. Yeah, 3 up safe with a 4 up ward. Yeah. But if you get that off in the middle objective, they're almost unkillable.
Yeah, like... And then they're doing... I know the actual attacks themselves aren't particularly brilliant, but then they're doing the mortals back, they're doing the health thing, and they're just a large amount of damage potential as well. And talking about the 2 Skaven ones, I'm basically going to kind of say the same thing for both of them. Because what the Skaven do well is they're sneaky, they're hard to fight against, for the simple fact of they disrupt your game with their silly movement abilities, can have teleports. Both of them have quite high ceilings for damage. If you listen to the Skaven one, I think we worked out that one single Storm Fiend unit could technically do 48 damage in a turn.
Still waiting for that to happen.
Yeah, I know, but name one other Spearhead unit that could. And that's just one model. Again, you're never going to do that, but they've got that crazy potential, and they're both really fun to play. I do think there is a bit of a learning curve with them, though. They're not the easiest to pick up, because if you just run in and smash, you'll probably lose, because they're not that kind of army. You've got to be sneaky. You've got to think about things. You've got to kind of think a turn or two ahead. But they've got the tools to do that. They've got loads and loads of tools, which most armies don't. They kind of have 1 or 2 tricks. Skaven have a lot.
Yeah. And I think they would, what we sort of said a bit about Death, why we put Death in 4th, and why we're struggling to decide what's the top 2, is they can play against a lot of different armies.
Yes.
Very well in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
They've got the shooting as well. They've just got so much to the army.
Yeah, they've got so much.
Well, there's only one way to decide this, Robin. And it's not a roll-off.
A roll-off.
It's not a roll-off. I think the only way to decide is battle reports. So I think at some time in the near future, or whenever our schedules can match, that you will do Nurgle, Skaven, and Skaven. I will do Gits, Cruel Boys, and Sons, and we will see who does the best overall. So that is our opinion.
Yeah.
We would love to see if we've missed any Spearheads that should have been included in the top 3, or if you think that Order and Death maybe have had been hard done to, and you think they could do maybe better.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear your thoughts. We are everywhere. We're on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, other great podcasting services.
Just down the road, on the corner at nights, skulking around. Sneaky rats.
Sneaky rats.
Sneaky rats. Let us know if you think we've done this terribly. And maybe, if you guys like this, we'll be doing the top 3 worst in everyone.
I'm not looking forward to that battle report game.
Yeah.
You just moaning going, Flesh Eaters are so rubbish.
Well, spoilers.
I think if they've seen any of our things, they know that you don't like Flesh Eaters in the Spearhead.
I think it's just because they're my main army, and they're just...
Well, everything's slightly worse, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's your
but
problem.
they take away all the things that make them good. Right.
Outro time then, Robin.
Outro time. Yeah, I'm trying to find
the
it just to
defender.
make sure I'm definitely doing it right. The Gloomspike gets Bad Moon Mad Mob. The Gloomspike gets Bad Moon Mad Mob. The Gloomspike gets Bad Moon Mad Mob.
I think you should get like because you managed to do that. The next time we do a roll off,
I get +1.
You get a +1
I get a +1
because I could not have done that.
Cool.
We're gonna forget that. But
Can't wait for you to roll that 6 and I roll that 2 again.